wow, that person is a bit of a scumbag. The next one is probably going to be a little bit inflammatory. The advice that you are enough, I think it is incredibly nuanced and it depends on. Greetings from Canggu, Bali. Welcome back to the podcast and to a bit of a change of plan from what I was supposed to be putting out this week. My editor, Yogi, has come down with a bad case of double vision. So, not ideal if you're in that line of work. So get well, Yogi. And so this is why we were planning on shipping a big vlog that we recorded the other week and super technical edits and stuff. So it's something that I can't do. Therefore, we've done a bit of a emergency Ask Me Anything episode. So I'm about to head to the Gili Islands with Tommy and Mika. Hopefully I'll have some footage for you for next week or maybe the week after, depending on how Yogi gets on. But we're going to do a little bit of a Ask Me Anything. I went to Instagram and Facebook, got some questions off you guys. So thank you for sending those through. And then we're going to see how many we can get through in the next hour or so. And by the way, what do you think of the makeshift cafe studio? I think it's pretty good. Got a little bit of greenery here. There's an ant just crawling above the camera there. So if it goes over the lens, then we'll have to stop it and restart. But it looks like he's heading on over that way. But anyways, let's get into it. So first question is Laura A. Would you rather face 10 horse-sized ducks or 100 duck-sized horses? Starting with the deep and important questions, obviously. I think if you had the 10 horse-sized ducks, you would just get absolutely mauled, wouldn't you? They can be quite aggressive ducks. And no, so can horses, but I reckon I could take on 100. Do you know what I mean? Just kick them, wouldn't you? Just kicking miniature horses. So yeah, that is the level of philosophy that I'm aiming for with this show. So thank you for that, Law. All right, Shay S says left or right. What on earth could he be meaning there? I think, could it be to do with politics? Yes. I'm going to do my very best not to totally cop out on this answer and just say, oh, it's somewhere in the middle. I was talking to some Russian lads the other night about this, and obviously we got into politics a little bit, and we were just trying. I was like, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the war? How do you feel about Putin? And it's like, even if someone says something, right, and even if they're an expert, what they are saying is still a best case guess, right? Like, everything is a hypothesis, literally everything. And I don't mean this to just be like, oh, like nothing's true and we don't have any free will or anything like that. That's like too airy-fairy and it's not very useful, is it? But it's just like, whatever viewpoint someone has come to that for a reason, not because there's some evil genius or psychopath or whatever. Maybe some, but most people are rational human beings and they've come to that assumption based on a range of things: national identity, conditioning, upbringing, genetics, family history, and it's like, I think most things lie in the messy middle, and it's too tempting to just go hard on one side or hard on one or the other. And I get it, because if you're looking to get elected or make change, you have to appeal to a certain votership, a certain demographic, a certain viewpoint. So if you sit there and go, well, somewhere in the middle, I kind of agree with that. Kind of like, no one really loves you, but I'm not going into politics. So honestly, I think there's a mix of both, and we should be open to listening to all points of view. And yeah. Why are we talking about politics? I hate politics. Okay. on to more exciting topics. Daniel R says, "How's your back?" Better, thank you. I had a physio appointment yesterday. Long story short, I started with some lower back pain, and then I basically been out of the action from the gym for the last just over a week now. And I think a combination of things. The interesting thing with injuries, right, is they're a real good opportunity to find your weak spots. There are symptoms, there are causes that may have brought that weakness to the fore, right? So for me, it would be at home, I have a standing desk and I do lots of frequent walks. Out here, it's not really good for walking. You just get run down by a scooter and it's too hot. So if you're going to walk, it's at the beach in the morning, at night. And then most of the time, I'm in a cafe doing my work, sat down. I don't have a standing desk. So I think a combination of lots of sitting, lots of scooter riding, and not as much walking has brought forth shown those weaknesses. And the physio basically confirmed that I have a very weak core. But I have got. I can't believe I've been to physios before. I cannot believe that no one spotted this. And I noticed this once on a video, and I was like, "Oh, is that my pelvis? What do they call it? Anterior pelvic tilt. So where like your pelvis is like that, and it means that because it's like that, then I naturally get this like curve at the bottom of my spine. I've often wondered this when I'm like watching videos of me lifting, and I press overhead and I kind of like hyperextend, like overextend backwards. So there's not, rather than being like that, I'm like this, yeah. And I've also wondered why that was, but it was basically saying because you've got this pelvic tilt, your spine is kind of like naturally started to curve in the middle. And we don't really see this in popular culture as like an issue. We think of like rounding back, do you know what I mean? But we never think of this like little curve at the bottom. Sometimes that like people might think that's even good posture or whatever, a little curve in the back of your back. So it's very it's not something that an amateur would ever spot. So yeah, so basically I need to do some exercises to straighten that out and kind of stop my body from learning to do that. So like right now I'm trying to like push the back part of my spine there into the back of the seat, and then that tilts my pelvis backwards, so it's more aligned. And it would make sense how I'd always had issues with my back after running. I honestly cannot believe it that no physio has ever said this. And he was like, "Have you been to physio before?" I was like, "Yeah, loads of times." There's always stuff about my knee and stuff. Anyways, and we did some core like exercise, some like side plank stuff, and he was just like, he was like, "Yes, very weak core," and I'm like, "Yeah." So very humbled by it. So I've got something to work on. He wants to get me back in the gym. I also think just like tons of CrossFit. Like I've not been doing much static stretching afterwards. I've not been doing pure strength days. I've just been doing the CrossFit classes, which have a bit of strength in them. So that's the downside of that. In just having a more relaxed approach to my training. Probably gotten away from some of the core strength stuff, which has probably masked that I had that issue in the first place, right? So there we go. So that's my back. Hope you found that interesting. Okay, Sophie R says, "What do you love and hate about Bali?" So let's start with what I love. I love that it is totally normal for people to be doing stuff like this, right? Like I'm sat outside a cafe here. There's a guy over there just like minding his own business. There's a grab driver over here. There's people coming past and stuff. If I did this in the UK, other than the fact that the weather's terrible, if I did this in the UK, like I would be so embarrassed, right? And I just love that it's just normal. And there's a downside of that because kind of sometimes it's a bit cringy, like, oh, another Westerner making content, another content creator, another coach, whatever. But I just love that. It's like you can just totally be yourself and in some ways be whoever you want to be because you're not bringing the baggage from home, other than me, because I talk about my baggage all the time. But you're not, you've not got like a predefined template of the way in which you are perceived or feel like you might be perceived to other people, right? So you can just kind of be like, oh, I want to record a video outside a cafe. Yeah, it's fine. So that's one thing that I love. What else? If I was in a cafe in England and I was sat opposite a girl, a guy, whatever, and I started talking to them, it'd be quite strange. Like that'd be like super outgoing, right? And especially like if it's a girl, it would be considered as me approaching them. And I love that here that you can just start up a conversation, and there is no pretext that you're after anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like I'm sure, like I've talked to like some lasses, and I'm like, does she think I'm coming on to her? Like, but the vast majority, it's just people like open to chatting, like, what are you doing out here? Like, what are you doing for work? Like, and it's just interesting, and it allows that then feeds into opportunities for romantic endeavors because like friendship can turn into romantic stuff or just I spoke about this on the whole the pedestaling episode, and it's just like about getting curious with people, and that's what I do. I sat here and I'm like, oh, like what's that book they're reading, or like I wonder what that person does, or like there's a guy sat next to me before, and I was like, I clocked like his screen, and there's like some graph going on, and he was busy, and I was like, I'm really interested. Like, what's he doing? Like, is he doing like trading or something? Like, super interested to me. So hopefully, I'll get the chance later when he's not busy to like be like, what's that thing on your screen, man? So yeah, so that's cool. There is someone said to me actually it was one of the Russian lads from the other night. They're like, so if you don't drink, what do you do in Bali? And I was just like talking through my day. I'm like, yeah, I go to the gym and then I go hang out at the beach or whatever. But actually, there is a very non-drinking culture here, and I don't mean that in the kind of like healthy spiritual wellness side of things. Most of the dates that I've been on have been with local girls. There's no conversation around drinking. And sometimes, even as someone who doesn't drink alcohol, sorry if you're new to the show, I don't drink. If you're someone who doesn't drink alcohol, and even like I'll be sat here and I'm like, do you want to drink? Do you want to drink? And it's like there's like this obsession with like, do you want to drink? Like all the time, and they're just like, no, I'm fine. Don't even want like necessarily a juice or anything like that. But we've always got like our props, haven't we? And that's one thing. Like a lot of people have said to me, you've always like you have so many drinks. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have a little juice, and then I'll have a coffee or whatever. Don't know, but also it's hot for us out here, so. So I can go on a date and there's no like, oh, do you not drink? Like, yeah, I just love it. Just love it. It's not even brought into conversation, and that's cool. Like, yeah, there's a question around dates, so I won't go too much into dating. And then the people are just so nice. Like, and I don't get the impression that it's like people pleasy or like fake or anything. Like they genuinely are just really happy, smiley people. And I found that just learning a little bit of the language, just like thank you and stuff, can really change like how you are viewed by them. And that's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true. And I think they just think it's cute and funny, and like sometimes they just kind of laugh at you, they smile, but they're kind of like laughing because you probably said it a little bit wrong, or they're just surprised. or like I think combined with, for me, like combined with that like British politeness, because I'm trying to like map on how I would say please and thank you into like Balinese or Indonesian. I'm always like suksama, like I'm always saying like thank you, and like to them it's probably a bit over the top. Like fucking hell, that guy's always saying thank you. Over here they're a bit more. I don't know. They're just not saying thank you all the time, but they're all also like really nice, peaceful. I don't know. There's not this like pretense to be always thanking people all the time, because it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of implied that you're grateful once you've said it once. I don't know. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, obviously the weather is great. Today's actually like really humid and a bit sticky, but it's starting to cool down a little bit now. But yeah, really great. I love it. And what do I hate? Hate is a strong word, isn't it? I think the upshot of like the a lot of people doing remote work or creating content is that sometimes it can be a little bit annoying, right? Maybe someone who's sat next to me here, the dark side of that might be that I was like, I can just do this, but might be a little bit annoying for him. My take on that whole thing is, if it's just you, like if I'm doing a video call and I've got my headphones in, or just a phone call, and I'm not super loud, like here I've got the close mic, so I'm not having to like shout at the camera or anything. I think that's respectful. But what really grinds my gears is when people don't have headphones and they're on video calls, and you can hear like the whatever like pixelated sound coming out the speakers because they're on a, and it's just really annoying, and I think it's really rude. The other night I was here and I was like, you cannot fucking write this. I walked into this back end area here, and I was just gonna go chill. I was like in the evening, so I just wanted to relax, switch off. And there's one guy at one side of the room and another girl at the other side of the room, and I can hear this echo. And like he's saying something like this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, are they on a video call to each other, the other side of the room, and one doesn't have headphones on? And I realized they were on like a group call, right? But she hadn't brought headphones, so as a result, I can hear an echo of every time he says something. It's coming out of her speakers at the other side. I can hear them talking about their brand strategy meeting and all this like shit, and it's just like, I just think it's rude and lazy. Get a pair of headphones and stop being fucking lazy. It's not hard. Little wired headphones. I keep them in my bag all the time, and yeah. So that would be one thing that I really dislike. And also, just being on your phone, scrolling social media with volume up. Like when I can hear someone's like reels like going around, and I'm like, fucking hell, like. So yeah, so that annoys me. But I have, in fairness, I'm trying to be a little bit more peaceful and a little bit less aggressive. That's one thing that I noticed about myself a little bit, was that I developed a bit. I didn't realize I'd done it, but I've developed like a bit of aggression towards people. Like not like super nasty, but just fuck you. Like something would irritate me, and I'd be like, oh, Westerner. Do you know what I mean? Or he looks like a dickhead. And it's a little bit of that male competitiveness that I've spoken about before that came out during the retreat. So one thing I've been practicing is loving kindness. So if you've ever done loving kindness meditation, and you basically imagine wishing people well, is the crux of it. You can Google it or whatever. It's actually really beautiful, and it really helps your nervous system. Because most of the feelings of tension and that we project onto people, all it does is negatively affect us. So if we can drop that, like our internal experience is everything. The way that we interpret our surroundings, like everything is through here, through our own experience. So if you can program that to be better, then you'll notice less of the stuff that annoys you. So trying to do more of that and trying to like give love to people that annoy me as well. So like yesterday, actually, what was I doing? I was meditating, sat in a cafe, and I heard these two girls next to me, and they were just like laughing. It was just like a really annoying laugh, almost over the top. You know, it seems almost like a bit performative. Oh, look at us, you know. And I could feel myself like getting angry. And then I caught myself in that moment, and I'm like, I hope they're having a lovely day, and I sent them love, and I wished them well, and I just like turned the volume down on that tension that I was holding towards them. So I think both, yeah, don't be a dick and don't be annoying in public. Obviously, you can laugh with your friends, like that's a me thing, but yeah, like things like the having your volume on and that, I just think is inconsiderate. But at the same time, if I change my inner wiring to be more tolerant of that, then it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? It's like a baby crying. I remember once I was on a plane going to Vietnam, and I was practicing meditation, and there was babies crying. It was just like crazy, and I was feeling like really angry. Not angry. I was just feeling like a little bit like, oh god, this is mental. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, like this is the thing. The baby crying becomes the meditation, the goal of the meditation, the object. So I would just allow it to be. Don't get attached to it around the. Don't be attached to the annoyance or the tension that I'm holding or the whatever it may be, and just let it. Yeah. So all of these things become an opportunity. Everything can become an opportunity for loving kindness or for mindfulness if you let it and if you allow a little bit of space to notice that. So, okay, next question. Sarah P says, how is your relationship with social media at the moment? I was thinking about this when I saw the message come through. Like, pretty good, actually. Like, it was maybe like 2-3 weeks ago that I posted something around, Instagram stories and like how we're like hallucinating these likes and responses and like looking at story views and then interpreting that into using the story view data to back up a pre-existing assumption around the relationship to someone. So like if you're interested in someone or you think maybe they're interested in you and then they like your story, oh, it means that they're obsessed with you. And then if that person doesn't like your story but looks, it means that they're obsessed with you but they just don't want you to know. Or if that person doesn't view your story, it's because they're obsessed with you and they're so obsessed with you that they need to mute you and then therefore they don't view your stories. So it means they're even more obsessed with you. Crazy. So but then if you realize like, well, what about all these other people on my story that like I feel a little bit indifferent towards them? Like, are they obsessed with me? No. So what I'm doing is retrofitting partly hallucinated real world evidence into a pre-existing assumption or belief about the world around you. Wild. So yeah, so there is that. And then I think actually one of the things that I've been doing a lot of is I just uninstall social media like once a day. If I notice that I'm on it too much, I'll try and catch myself pretty quick and I'll just uninstall it, and then whatever until I've got something to post, then I'll reinstall it again. I think maybe I'm just thinking about it now. I have not been to the gym in over a week, so I've not been posting any gym content, and then coincidentally I feel okay. So maybe because I'm not posting as much gym content, and I don't know, or maybe because I've been dating someone and I feel loved, not loved, but like I'm feeling love. So that kind of fills up that like validation container that Jason needs. Like I get this thing like when someone I like is interested in me, it's like this box gets ticked, and I can just carry on about my day and my life and just do things that I want to do, not out of the need for validation or anything. I just do it because I want to do it, right? When it's not there, I do find that I can have a bit of an agenda with when I'm posting stuff and like hoping that I get attention, hoping that I get more likes, etc. So, yeah, I don't think it's wrong to say that like I need to be loved, like I want to be loved and I need to be loved, and that's okay. That's a human, pretty normal human requirement. So yeah, so that's maybe why I've been feeling a little bit better about social media. Michael T says, "What are you using AI for and not using it for?" Okay, so here are some use cases. So work meetings. I don't really use AI to prep the meetings necessarily, but I will use Google Gemini to take the transcript, and then I'll analyze it with Claude. And then I have a few different like meeting notes skills that I've pre-programmed, and then it will be like, so I'll have like host feedback and then like patterns to watch, and so I do a daily meeting with my team, and then I run everything through this post meeting skill, and then I'll basically, the AI is coaching me on my approach with meetings, and it's been a really really nice example of how you can use it to be better in the real world, because AI is not holding my hand through that moment. I'm not using like there's like a live Gemini thing. I've never used that, but I'm doing the meeting, and it's like my game tape, right? You know, like footballers, soccer players, whatever. Like afterwards, they'll review their game tape. I'm like, okay, like you could have done that better. Okay, right, next time, this is the plan. So that's what I've been doing. Obviously allows me to take notes and stuff and remember what's been said in meetings. But I'll be like, okay, so you did this well, you did this well, you did this well, and then it'd be like, okay, maybe you want to watch this. Like you spoke a little bit too long on this point. You let this thing, like you need to be delegating a bit more rather than offering to do things for people. All that sort of like classic managerial stuff. So yeah, so that's like an awesome use case, and it's the sort of thing that's like they talk about like the denigration or degradation of your like cognition using AI too much, but this is a great example of using it to be to actually make you smarter and more deliberate, etc. So, and then I use the same chat for the meetings so that it's got the context. So we go, okay, here's today's meeting. Okay, did I do better? Like, okay, that thing we talked about yesterday, you've nailed that sort of thing. So yeah, so it's helping me be a better leader. And then what else? What else? Honestly, I feel like most things as it relates to work, journaling, reflection, most of it is seeing AI at some point. Even like I will do my journaling because I'm just trying to process as much as I can. I'm always like not wanting to miss anything, and maybe that's an issue, but like so I'll do like my handwritten journal, and I'll take a photograph and then I'll upload it, so I can have that feeling of journaling in a analog way, old school, kind of that nice like nervous system, calming nervous system feeling that you get from handwriting. But then having the benefits of using AI to like, here's my journal entry today. Can you just transcribe it, add it to my Notion or add it to my whatever, and then let's discuss like what are the patterns is in it. So I'm kind of getting it to CBT me all the time. Like, is there something that like I'm missing here, or actually, I'll tell you one of my favorite uses of it at the moment, and there are a few different categories that you could use this for. This kind of, I guess we need a name for it, but let's call it multiple choice AI. You heard it here first. But basically, I will say, okay, here's how I'm feeling about a thing. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I can't get started on this thing. You know, it could be a work project. It could be how I'm feeling about a romantic interest, whatever. Here's how I'm feeling. A little bit of information. What I would like you to do is ask me a range of multiple choice questions. Give me 5 options with a number, and ask them one by one, and do not stop until I say that I've had enough and I want you to summarize and come up with a plan. So I can say whatever. Oh, I'm feeling procrastinated about. I'm procrastinating on this thing. Like I'm like blah 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 blah, and then it goes okay. First 5 questions. Okay. Oh, what is it about this task that scares you, or whatever? Is it A this? Is it B this? Is it C this? And then if you are feeling like a little bit like you don't want to do much, you can kind of just be like, okay, C next, and then the next one, B next. But what I noticed is as soon as I get a little prompt, and I just, because it's been diced up, spliced into mini steps, and I can go, okay, well, it's this, and this is what a therapist would do. And then sometimes I'll just find myself completely just like completely writing War and Peace into this little chat thing and explaining like how I'm feeling. And then I'll keep going, and then it'll kind of just get it out of me. And then I'll go, right, okay, I'm done now. Let's talk through the patterns. Give me a game plan. What we're doing. And by the time I've done that, I feel better anyways. And I probably know the answer, because sometimes it's like when you're on like, you're taking a walk with a friend and you're talking it through, you kind of just come to the answer yourself. You just need that back and forth sometimes. So that is a really nice use. Is there anything that I'm not using it for? I'm not using it for ideation, I don't think. So like ideas for videos, etc. Yeah, maybe I should, but I don't know. I like for this stuff to kind of come up naturally when I'm journaling and stuff. Journaling. So yeah, that's one thing I'm not using. Obviously, there's loads of stuff I'm not using it for, but I'm thinking through like a work reflective lens here. What about you guys? How are you using AI at the moment, and what you're not using it for? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I've been looking forward to this one. Nadia L says, "Why say females instead of women? I don't understand." So I did message Nadia and asked for a little bit of clarification on this. And she was basically saying that a lot of podcasters and like myself use the term females. I think actually what it is I don't think it's some form of male patriarchy, whatever, fill in the blank nefarious reason. I think actually it comes from a lot of the like podcast bro space, particularly like Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson, do a lot on evolutionary psychology, and very like science-based biological stuff, right? So I think it's just because it's a much more scientific term. I think if you listen to the content, my own and also the others in the podcast bro space, I would think that we'd also use the word term males. But I get like, I suppose there's like, we've got males and then we had females. So it's like a feminine version of a male. So it's like there is a cultural pretext that it is somehow a less version of a man, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm 99% sure that's why it exists, and that's why I also do it, because I take influence from these other podcasters, and I'm obviously using a lot of the terminology that I pick up on other podcasts. So that's how language develops and communication styles develop, right? You take influences from those around you. And I don't know, actually, like the term women has been used quite derogatory. Like, you wouldn't have like a working class guy going, "Oh, females, what they're like." Do you know what I mean? It's always, "Oh, women drivers," that kind of stuff. So, so I would push back on that, Nadia. Yeah, there's no derogatoriness or anything like that meant by it. Emma T says, "What advice sounds wise but is actually terrible?" This is a great question. I would say probably most fitness advice, other than the basics. So you've got like the real basic stuff, whatever, strength train 2 to 3 times a week, do some zone 2 cardio, all the basic foundational stuff is solid and science backed. So all the other stuff, the stuff at the extreme ends and the niche stuff and the novel sounding stuff that you just, most of it is bullshit, because most of it is highly targeted towards a specific athlete type. And so a big part of the reason why I don't do too much high rocks content anymore, because, I'm asking, Charlie Bottrell on like, "Oh, what's the best way to train for high rocks?" When this is, I'm not calling out Charlie or anything like that, but I'm just using an example. But it's like the guy had like something like, was it 10 years, maybe 5 to 6, maybe 10 years of pro cycling or something. Like, so his aerobic base is totally different from yours. Same with Alex Ronchevich. All people I've interviewed, you can search for them on the podcast and check out the interviews with them. 10 years of swimming, you know. Zara Piergianni, like something like 5 years of CrossFit training. Sin the traps on her, So everyone has a different background. So like, applying their training to your own is just not going to work. You might get some of the benefits, but it's not very sexy. But it's just like the reality of it is, it depends on the athlete and it depends on your own strengths. It's like you see things like stroke rate, and it's like, "Oh, you want to be hard pulls on the ski erg because it's more efficient and stuff." And I'm like, well, actually, I don't agree with that. Like, that's one I actually see a lot. I don't agree with that. Like, if you have less core strength or less overall strength, but you have a really good aerobic engine, I would actually argue that you might be better with a slightly higher stroke rate, because you can't exert as much force as the huge guy who has much more of a strength background, right? So that's a fitness. That's some fitness thoughts on fitness advice. The next one is probably going to be a little bit inflammatory, but the advice that you are enough. I thought about this one a lot, and I just think it is. I think it is incredibly nuanced, and it depends on the person. Like, think about, do you know anyone in your life where you're like, wow, like that person is like a bit of a scumbag, right? And like, do you trust them? Like, and would you? Okay, this is a nice little filter to run it through. Whether you have a daughter or a son, or let's do the daughter first, right? If you have a daughter, or imagine you had a daughter, and we're targeting it, guys. Sorry, guys. Would you allow your daughter to marry that guy? Yes or no? And if no, is that person enough? And also, so then pointing at yourself, like, would I let my daughter marry me? Wow, that's gonna get clipped, isn't it? But like, would the person that would the person that I am be good enough for someone that I would care about as much as my own daughter? And if the answer is no, then I don't think you're enough. I think there is work to do. Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because I know, like, and I'm targeting guys a little bit there. I actually wonder whether it's sometimes the other way around with girls. Like, I feel like girls probably need to be told sometimes, like, you are enough. Like, whoa, like, it's okay, you know. And there are guys. Yes, there is that as well, but also a lot of guys like need to get their shit together. Stop making excuses. Like, stop fucking phoning it in. I know, like, a lot of guys like that, and yeah, it's difficult because yeah, that there are times when there is love needed, and there are times where it's like, bro, get your shit together. Stop drinking, stop taking drugs, whatever. Like, stop fucking doing shitty things to people. And yeah, so how could I ever say that that person is enough? Like, no, sorry. And and of course, the same goes for females who are acting that way, females that are acting shitty, females, women that are acting that way. Like, yeah, sorry, you're not good enough. Like, you need to improve yourself. Stop being a fucking shitty human being. And I'm sorry that whatever you might have trauma and stuff that made you act that way, but don't use it as an excuse. Yes, use it as a way to understand yourself better and maybe why you act the way that you do in these negative ways. But don't let that define you. Don't let you use it as an excuse to be a shitty person. So it's another one. Yeah, I think that's my 2 bits of advice, which sounds good but are actually terrible. Okay, so we are running close to an hour now, and I'm very hungry actually. So I think I'm going to do one or two more, and then sorry if I didn't get to your question. I will do it next time. I've enjoyed this actually. I've not done the Ask Me Anything thing in ages, so this has been fun. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, last but not least, Jack M. Jack M. How many dates have you been on? And is there any second dates on the cards? So, in coming up 9 weeks, I've been out here. What? So Tinder dates: 1, 2, 3, 4 different girls. All of those was just once, and then sorry, the fourth one I've now seen 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 7. And then there was 2 other girls that I met IRL. So that will be 9 dates. 9 dates, 6 different girls, and any second dates on the cards. So just this one, just the one that I'm dating at the moment. So yeah, we had our 3rd date last night, and yeah, it's good. I would say. What was the question? How many dates have you been on? Yeah, it's wild how I think on Tinder, right? I think on Tinder I have something like 500 matches. Oh, is it like 200 matches and then 300 like likes in the queue? But this isn't a flex. Um, a lot of them, I would say 70 to 80%. It was more, but then I improved my profile a bit, and then that came down. I would say 70 to 80% are escorts. So you get talking to them, and then some are like really obvious. They're like, "What's your WhatsApp?" And I'm like, first few times I was like, "Oh, she's keen," and then next minute you're getting the full fucking buffet menu of like, "Oh, 1.5 million thing for X, Y, and Z." I'm like, "Oh, right, okay. Sorry, I thought this was like a normal dating thing. Not interested." And but some are a little bit more like they will lead you on a little bit. I'm like, and then the profile looks like pretty normal. Some have got fairly promiscuous profiles, so it's pretty easy to spot. But some just look like regular girls, and they got like a nice description in the profile, and then they'll lead you on a little bit, and then even that you exchange WhatsApp, and then they won't say anything yet, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like normal girl, and then they're like, oh, by the way, babe, I'm an escort, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. So I found it really frustrating. And then actually, I improved my profile a little bit. I just put some like nicer pictures up there, like because I just like throwing it together. Put a few nicer pictures, and then I put a little bit of a bio that says like what I'm looking for, like looking for someone with shared values. I kind of like put stuff like that in, and then I since had better quality matches. Uh, but I think in terms of like Western girls, right? I think I've matched one, and that was only last week in like 8 weeks. We've not spoken, and yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know why. Um, Maybe the Western girls like have a much higher standard, and they're looking for like the Bali bro that's got biceps twice the size of me and a bank account twice the size. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm also giving off that energy because I've not really like been. Sorry, I've socialized with Western girls, but like not really like made any friends with like English girls or uh, American. I don't know why, but I think I enjoy meeting the locals. I think it's just interesting. You get to learn about the culture, um, and it doesn't remind you of like the bad shit from the UK. So yeah, so I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for sending me through your questions. I hope that you've enjoyed getting caught up on what I've been up to out here. And yeah, and please, before you go, would you give us a like, follow us on the app? It doesn't make a huge difference to someone who's been podcasting and YouTubing for the last 3 years, and it is still very much a passion project. So, any help you can give me in that regard, I would much appreciate it. So, thank you for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one.